Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. Life is not about being better than somebody else. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Too many people get caught up trying to compete with the world, trying to look like someone else, live like someone else, or impress somebody else. But the truth is, the only person you need to outdo is the person you were the day before. Becoming the best version of yourself starts when you stop comparing and start becoming. Stop comparing yourself to others. Focus on becoming better than you were yesterday. This simple truth carries one of the greatest lessons for personal growth. Yet it's the hardest for most people to live by. We live in a world where comparison is constant, where everyone's achievements, looks, and lifestyles are displayed for all to see. It's easy to feel like you're not doing enough, not successful enough, I'm not talented enough when you measure your worth against someone else's highlight reel. But the reality is your journey was never meant to look like anyone else's. You were created with a unique purpose, and comparing yourself to others only blinds you to your own path. The moment you stop looking at what everyone else is doing and start focusing on your own growth, that's when your real transformation begins. You see, comparison is the thief of joy. It drains your energy, kills your motivation, and makes you feel like you're losing even when you're progressing. When you constantly compare, you're telling yourself that what you have and who you are isn't enough, and that mindset keeps you stuck. Every person you compare yourself to has a different story, a different set of challenges, and a different timing. You might be in your building phase while someone else is in their winning season. If you spend all your time watching their success, you'll miss your own opportunity to grow. The best way to measure success is not by looking at others, but by looking at who you were yesterday and asking, am I better than I was before? Becoming the best version of yourself is not about competing. It's about improving. It's about recognizing that progress, no matter how small, is still progress. You may not be where you want to be yet, but if you're working on yourself, learning, and showing up every day, you're already winning. The journey to becoming better is not always glamorous. It's filled with struggles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But every time you choose to keep going instead of comparing, you're developing strength and discipline that will serve you in every part of life. When you stop comparing, you start seeing the beauty in your individuality. You start valuing your pace, your process, and your purpose. Everyone grows at a different rate, and that's perfectly fine. Some flowers bloom early in spring, while others take until late summer to open. But they all bloom when it's their time. The same is true for you. You don't have to rush your growth just because someone else seems ahead. What's meant for you will never miss you if you keep working and believing in yourself. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean you ignore others. It means you celebrate them without losing sight of your own lane. When you admire someone's success, let it inspire you, not discourage you. Use this proof that great things are possible even for you. But then bring that focus back home on your goals, your values, and your potential. Because your biggest competition is not the person next to you, it's the old version of you. Every day you should aim to be a little wiser, a little stronger. I'm a little more disciplined than you were yesterday. That's what true growth looks like. The truth is, no one else has your exact combination of experiences, skills, and dreams. You have something only you can offer this world, and it's your responsibility to nurture it. The more time you spend comparing, the less time you spend developing what makes you great. So shift your energy. Instead of asking, why am I not like them? Start asking, how could I become a better me? The answer to that question will guide you to success far greater than comparison ever could. Because at the end of the day, the race isn't against others. It's against time, fear, and the limits you've set on yourself. When you realize that, you'll stop looking around and start looking within, and that's when you'll truly begin to rise. Step out of fear and into faith. Fear destroys more dreams than failure ever will. Every person has a dream deep inside their heart, a vision of the life they wish to live, the person they want to become, or the purpose they want to fulfill. And most people never take a first step toward it because fear stands in the way. Fear whispers lies in your ear, telling you that you're not ready, not capable, or not good enough. It convinces you that if you try, you'll fail, and that failure will define you. But the truth is, fear is only as powerful as you allow it to be. It doesn't disappear by avoiding it. It loses its power when you face it with faith. Fear is a natural emotion, but it becomes dangerous when it controls your actions. Many people let fear dictate their decisions, and as a result, they live small. They stay in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, or lifestyles that don't fulfill them, all because stepping into the unknown feels too risky. But here's the thing, growth never happens in the comfort zone. You cannot become the best version of yourself while hiding behind fear. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every moment of transformation starts with one brave step forward, even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. Faith means believing there's something greater waiting for you on the other side of your fear. The difference between successful people and those who give up isn't that one never feels fear. It's that successful people act despite it. They use fear as fuel, not as a cage. They understand that failure isn't final. It's a teacher. Every mistake, every rejection, every closed door carries a lesson that prepares you for the next opportunity. But fear tries to block that lesson. It tells you to quit before you even begin. The only way to silence it is through faith, the belief that what's meant for you will come if you keep moving forward, even when the path isn't clear. Faith gives you courage to try when everything inside you says, don't. It reminds you that you're not alone, that there's a greater plan at work, and that every challenge you face has a purpose. Sometimes life will push you to the edge, and fear will try to convince you to turn back. But faith says, and and the net will appear. It's about trusting that your effort, your persistence, and your belief will pay off in ways you can't yet see. The beautiful thing about faith is that it grows stronger every time you use it. The more you trust, the more you realize how much power you have to shape your life. Fear thrives on imagination. It makes you picture the worst possible outcome. Faith also uses imagination, but in a different way. It lets you see the best possible outcome. Fear says, what if I fail? What if I succeed? Fear says, I'm not ready. Faith says, I'll never be ready if I don't start. The moment you change the way you think, the entire direction of your life can shift. You can't wait for fear to go away before you move. Courage is moving while fear still exists. When you step out of fear and into faith, you open yourself to endless possibilities. You begin to see that life rewards those who take chances, who believe when others doubt, who show up even when they're scared. You realize that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every person you admire has failed countless times, but they kept going. They trusted that their purpose was bigger than their fear. So, if you feel fear today, that's okay. It means you're standing on the edge of something important. But instead of stepping back, step forward with faith. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to believe that each step will reveal the next. Faith will carry you where fear never could. Because when you walk by faith, you don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step. Growth comes through discomfort. Challenges build your strength and character. Every person dreams of becoming better, stronger, and more successful. But few are willing to go through the process that growth requires. The truth is, growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from struggle, from those moments where life pushes you beyond your limits. Discomfort is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you stretch yourself, and that stretch is where transformation happens. You can't expect to rise if you're not willing to go through the pressure that comes with growth. Diamonds are formed under pressure, muscles grow through resistance, and character is built through trials. The same principle applies to life. You cannot become your best self without facing what challenges you. People often pray for success, but they don't realize that success is hidden in struggle. It's the nights when you're tired but keep working, the times when you fail but still get up, the moments when you feel alone but still believe in your purpose. Those are the moments that shape you. Discomfort tests your commitment to your dreams. It asks, how bad do you want it? Because if you only move when things feel easy, you'll never reach your full potential. Every person who's achieved something great has a story of struggle behind it. They had to endure rejection, loss, fear, and uncertainty, but they kept going. That persistence through discomfort is what separates those who talk about success from those who live it. When life becomes difficult, most people see it as a sign to stop. But what if it's actually a sign to keep going? Every challenge carries a hidden opportunity for growth. When things get uncomfortable, it's life's way of showing you that you're being stretched for something greater. Growth doesn't happen when everything is going right. It happens when everything feels wrong, and you still choose to keep moving. The pain you feel today will eventually become the strength you use tomorrow. You may not see it now, but every struggle is preparing you for what you asked for. Think about it this way: you can't build strength without resistance. If you go to the gym and lift weights, the goal isn't to stay comfortable. It's to push your muscles beyond their limits so they can grow. The same is true for your spirit, your mind, and your goals. Every challenge you face is resistance training for your destiny. It teaches you patience, endurance, and discipline. It helps you develop the mindset to handle success when it comes. Because if you can't handle discomfort, you won't be able to handle responsibility. The hard seasons of life are not there to break you. They are there to prepare you. Growth through discomfort also builds humility. It reminds you that everything worth having takes time and effort. It teaches you to appreciate progress, no matter how small. When you look back after overcoming a difficult season, you realize that the struggle was necessary. It made you wiser, stronger, and more compassionate. It taught you to trust yourself, to depend on your faith, and to never give up. Without those experiences, you wouldn't have the depth or resilience to handle greater things ahead. The truth is, no one grows in comfort. Comfort may feel safe, but it keeps you stagnant. Discomfort may feel painful, but it pushes you to evolve. So when life becomes hard, don't run from it, embrace it. Learn from every obstacle and allow it to build your character. The more you face challenges, the more confident you become in your ability to overcome them. Growth is never easy, but it's always worth it. The person you become after the struggle will always be stronger, wiser, and more powerful than the one who was afraid to begin. Change your mindset to change your life. Think and speak positivity. Everything that happens in your life begins in your mind. The way you think determines the way you live, the way you act, and the results you experience. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, you'll reap frustration and failure. But if you plant seeds of faith, hope, and confidence, you'll harvest success and peace. The problem is that many people want a better life without changing their thinking. They want success but keep speaking failure. They want joy but focus on everything that's wrong. You cannot live a positive life with a negative mindset. Transformation begins when you take control of your thoughts and words. The most powerful battles you'll ever fight won't be with other people. They'll be with your own mind. Your thoughts can either be your greatest weapon or your greatest weakness. Every day, you wake up with two voices in your head, one that tells you you can, and one that tells you you can't. The voice that wins is the one you feed. If you constantly feed your mind with negativity, complaining, self-doubt, comparison, you'll stay stuck where you are. But when you start feeding your mind with positivity, gratitude, belief, and encouragement, you start changing your direction. The world around you begins to shift because your inner world is shifting first. What you think about, you bring about. Words have power. They shape your reality. Every time you speak, you're either building your future or breaking it down. When you say things like, I'm not good enough, or nothing ever works out for me, you're speaking limitations over your life. You're not talking your mind to accept defeat before you've even tried. But when you speak life, I can do this. I'm improving every day. Something good is coming my way. You begin to align your actions with your beliefs. The universe responds to the energy you put out. Speak what you want, not what you fear. Changing your mindset doesn't mean pretending that everything is perfect. It means choosing to see possibilities even when circumstances are tough. It's about training your mind to focus on what you can control instead of what you can't. When challenges come, a negative mind says, this is too hard, while a positive mind says, this is my opportunity to grow. That one difference in perspective can completely change your outcome. A strong mindset doesn't remove problems. It helps you face them with faith instead of fear. To change your mindset, you have to be intentional about what you allow into your mind. The books you read, the people you surround yourself with, and the content you consume all shape your thoughts. If you're surrounded by negativity, it's only a matter of time before you start thinking in the same way. Protect your peace by being selective about what influences you. Fill your mind with messages that lift you, challenge you, and push you forward. The more you expose yourself to positivity, the more natural it becomes to think positively. And developing a positive mindset also means practicing gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. When you start appreciating the small things, you open the door for bigger blessings. Gratitude changes the energy around you. It softens your heart, sharpens your vision, and strengthens your faith. You can't be negative and grateful at the same time. Gratitude rewires your brain to see abundance instead of lack, and that's the foundation of a powerful mindset. At the end of the day, your mind is the control center of your life. Every change you want to make must start there. You can't build a new life with the same old thinking. Stop believing that you're capable, deserving, and ready for greatness. When you change your thoughts, your emotions shift, your actions follow, and your reality begins to transform. Thinking and speaking positivity isn't just motivational talk. It's a way of life that can turn dreams into reality. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire your growth. The company you keep determines the direction you move. Whether you realize it or not, the people around you shape your mindset, influence your decisions, and impact your energy. If you spend time with dreamers, believers, and doers, you'll find yourself becoming more motivated and focused. But if you surround yourself with negativity, doubt, and small thinking, it will slowly drain your ambition. Energy is contagious. If you stay around people who complain, criticize, or give up easily, you'll eventually pick up their habits. That's why being intentional about your circle is one of the most powerful decisions you can make for your personal growth. You can tell where someone's going by the company they keep. If you're trying to climb higher in life, you can't keep hanging around people who are comfortable staying low. Growth requires separation. Sometimes that means distancing yourself from those who don't share your vision or values. It doesn't mean you think you're better than them. It means you're protecting your purpose. Not everyone can go where you're going, and that's okay. The journey to becoming your best self will require leaving behind some relationships that no longer serve your growth. The right people won't be intimidated by your ambition. They'll be inspired by it. Surrounding yourself with the right people creates an environment that fuels success. When you're around individuals who push you to be better, who celebrate your wins and challenge your excuses, you start to level up naturally. Their energy lifts you. Their discipline motivates you. Their belief reminds you that anything is possible. The best kind of people are those who see your potential even when you don't. They hold you accountable, but they also remind you of your worth. Those are the people you need to keep close because they help you grow into the version of yourself you're meant to be. On the other hand, negative people can block your growth without you even noticing. They'll tell you your dreams are too big, your goals are unrealistic, and your efforts are pointless. But remember, people who gave up on their own dreams will always try to discourage yours. Don't let someone who settled convince you to stop striving. Protect your peace by setting boundaries. You don't owe anyone access to your energy, especially if they constantly drain it. It's okay to love people from a distance while prioritizing your growth. Building a strong circle doesn't happen overnight. It takes discernment and time. Look for people who align with your purpose, who challenge you to think differently, who inspire you to take action. You don't need a large crowd. You need a small circle of strong minds and genuine hearts. Sometimes one positive, motivated person can change the entire direction of your life. Spend time with those who talk about ideas, growth, and purpose, not those who gossip about others or focus on problems. Conversations shape perspective, and perspective shapes destiny. It's also important to be the kind of person you want to attract. If you want supportive, loyal, and uplifting people in your life, be that person first. Celebrate their success and share positivity. The energy you give will return to you. When your environment is full of mutual respect, encouragement, and inspiration, you'll find yourself growing faster and feeling more fulfilled. The truth is, you can't do life alone. Success is not just about talent or hard work. It's also about community. The right people will remind you of your strength when you forget it, and they'll keep you grounded when success comes. They'll help you see possibilities where you once saw limits. So choose wisely who you allow into your circle. Protect your energy, nurture healthy connections, and build relationships that elevate your spirit. Because when you surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire your growth, you don't just rise, you soar. Becoming your best self is a lifelong journey. Start where you are and never stop evolving. Too many people wait for the perfect moment to begin working on themselves, believing that one day they'll wake up ready, confident, and fully prepared. But that day never comes. The truth is, growth doesn't require perfection, it requires progress. You don't have to have it all out to take the first step. You simply have to start, even if you're scared, uncertain, or unqualified. The journey to becoming your best self is not about reaching a final destination. It's about continuously improving, learning, and becoming more of who you were meant to be every single day. Life is a process of constant change. Who you are today is not who you were a year ago, and who you'll be next year will depend on the choices you make right now. Every experience, good or bad, plays a role in shaping your growth. The mistakes you make, the lessons you learn, the challenges you overcome, and the victories you celebrate all contribute to your evolution. Becoming your best self means embracing that process instead of resisting it. It means accepting that growth is not linear. Some days you'll move forward quickly, other days you'll stumble or stand still. But as long as you keep trying, you're still moving in the right direction. A big part of evolving is learning to let go of the old version of yourself. The one that made excuses, the one that doubted, the one that settled for less. You can't step into a new chapter while holding on to the past. Every time you grow, something within you has to change. That might mean leaving behind certain habits, people, or ways of thinking that no longer serve your future. Growth requires honesty, the courage to look at yourself and say, I can do better. I can be better. It's not about hating who you are. It's about loving yourself enough to improve. The journey to becoming your best self also demands patience. Real transformation doesn't happen overnight. You won't see results immediately, and that's okay. Every small step you take counts. It's the daily choices. Waking up early, staying disciplined, pushing through fear, choosing kindness, showing gratitude that build the foundation for lasting change. The most powerful growth happens quietly, in moments of consistency that no one else sees. Don't rush the process, trust it. The time and effort you put in today will eventually bloom into something beautiful tomorrow. As you evolve, you'll notice that your priorities shift. The things that once mattered may lose their value, and that's a sign of progress. Growth changes your perspective. You begin to care less about impressing others and more about becoming authentic. You stop chasing validation and start seeking purpose. Becoming your best self isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about aligning your actions with your values and living in a way that feels true to who you are. When you live authentically, you attract the right people, opportunities, and experiences that match your energy. There will be moments when you feel stuck or discouraged, but those are part of the journey too. Growth isn't about never falling. It's about learning how to rise every time you do. Each failure teaches you something new about yourself, and each setback strengthens your resilience. Every season, even the painful ones, has a purpose. Sometimes the hardest seasons are the ones that prepare you for your greatest breakthroughs. Becoming your best self is a lifelong commitment. There's always another level to reach, another lesson to learn, another dream to chase. The beauty of this journey is that it never truly ends. You keep discovering more of your potential as you grow. So don't wait for the right time or the perfect plan. Start where you are with what you have and take the next step. Keep learning, keep pushing, and keep evolving. Because every single day you decide to improve, you move one step closer to becoming the best version of yourself.